Julio.
Hi.
Hi.
Are you ready?
I'm
I'm
actually
ready.
so ready, and I'm honestly really happy that the last week episode was interesting.
That last week's episode was interesting.
No, no, no. The one that just happened was interesting.
Oh, okay. I was like, no, it wasn't.
Because they definitely needed to make up for it because it was boring
That's
before.
true.
Yeah. Okay. First and foremost, I want to talk about like the two delusions that Lisa and Erica have. And I just thought it was like so. Okay, so number one, how Erica thought that the distraction couldn't be taken away from her lawsuits and everything because she's more
Oh my
famous
God.
than Kathy
Yes.
Hilton. And
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
like,
Mhm.
I'm sorry, like in what world, in what universe are you in that you think you're more famous?
Well, no, I definitely know Kathy Hilton. I had no
I
idea who Erica Girardi is.
Yeah, and I feel like maybe more people in certain parts of America would know who she was because they were affected by the lawsuits, but
Right.
honestly, I don't really think so. So I don't understand like how that statement could have been said with confidence.
She said it with her chest
The entire chest.
multiple times.
Yeah, and I'm like, no. And also, like, there is such a thing as bad publicity, and you're currently in the
Yeah.
media completely under bad publicity, and you look like all you care about is yourself, which she has clearly stated over and over and over again. So I
Yeah.
thought that was
Shit's
hilarious.
terrible.
Yeah. Okay, and what's it called? Number two, Lisa Rinna with her statement about that she's going to wait. I made notes of it. Let me just find it now because I thought that was the most hilarious thing. Oh yeah, that she's going to apparently get cancer or die if she keeps her mouth shut. I'm like,
Okay, I had that down too because I'm like, she's like, if I don't express it, it's gonna eat me up inside and give me cancer. But you're not expressing anything.
yeah,
And then 2 minutes later, you make the point that nobody knows any details because you haven't shared any details. So really, you haven't expressed anything besides, I saw a really bad thing.
yeah.
Okay, like that's
And I
all
had
you're.
to lock myself in the room because I was
I
so
was
scared.
shocked.
I was,
Okay,
yeah.
but what happened? I'm sure it's the details that you need to release in order to make sure that you don't rot from the inside out and get cancer and die.
I just thought that was such a, like, you don't say that because that's not even remotely true.
No, she's just being. She was. I was very disappointed in Lisa Rinna this episode because I, up to now, have been a Lisa Rinna fan. And I'm not saying that I will no longer be. Depends how she keeps going. But she was really irritating me this episode. And I really wanted her to shut up.
Okay, I just found that part where she was just like, I was so shook by the behavior. I've never seen anyone in my entire life act that way. I'm gonna like try to put like
We've
images
seen
of or
too.
even like clips of what she's done in the past. Okay, so with Kyle and
Right.
Kathy's sister,
Yeah.
Kim, was on the
I
show.
saw this clip.
Yeah, and she like smashed a glass. So I'm like, I thought that would
Mhm.
be so much worse than someone just spewing like a rant. Okay.
I think she did say that when they got back to the house, like she was throwing things, like she broke her glasses and she was throwing things
Or jumping up and down. But at the end of the day, like,
something like that.
yeah. And then I saw this other one and I thought it was so funny. It was just like, personally, I feel like now, what's her face? Kyle is standing out for Kathy more this
Yeah,
episode. But I feel like she was doing that because she needs to. Otherwise, her kids and everyone are going to be super affected.
yeah.
Because, yeah, they're
She
going to.
wants everybody. She wants her whole family to be at the wedding. She wants that for her daughter.
Yeah. And then she was just like, oh, yes, she's done a lot of things. And then there was like this meme that I saw, and I'll put it up. It's like hiding a purse is not the same as humiliating your sister for what she's wearing, putting her in the basement, and not having her back the entire trip, Kyle. And I was just like, that's so true, though. You put her in the
Oh,
basement. Like you gave your other guests better
yeah,
rooms. And you made fun, like all she does is just like, oh, Kathy can't do this, Kathy can't do that. And I'm like, aren't you
yeah.
also
You're right.
tearing her down throughout, like, not just this episode, not just for Aspen, but like even the last season and this season?
Yeah,
But,
but I feel like I don't know. I mean, I do. That is true. But I just feel like when I see Kyle say these things to Kathy, I get a very like sisterly, playful
I
vibe.
get that. I totally get that too.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
No, I'm just saying that like it's funny when she's just
Cool.
like, "Oh, Kathy does this," but I'm just like, "Girl, just like you guys are like going off and like doing like she hides your bag, you make fun of her for her shoes. Totally
Yeah,
sisterly things. But when someone comes after your sister, you come together no matter what.
yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, and so I'm glad she finally stood up and finally also said that it came from Erica's camp.
Yeah, yep. And you know what? I think at the finale, not the finale. Yeah, it should be the
Reunion.
finale. Reunion, there you
Yeah.
go. That some of these receipts might be brought out.
Oh, completely. And I also am like, did you see the clip for the reunion where Kathy was
No.
going at Lisa, just being like, you're a bully, your contract is almost done. That's why you're coming up with this storyline. And she literally, I'm not gonna lie, Lisa has made a lot of people, like a lot of housewives on the show, not return because of how much she goes after them. And then,
Oh,
like a year or two later, after the stuff is done, then she apologizes and she's like, "Oh, I feel so bad for that." But I'm like, you did such damage to those people and to their lives and to their families. And
wow. I'm so sad to hear this because, like I said, I was really liking her. I thought she was funny. Like, so, like, there's something childlike and silly about her that I liked.
I feel like she's definitely great entertainment, but I don't know. Like, I wonder, honestly, if Erika is going to stand up and like say something and actually defend Lisa at the reunion. I don't think so. I feel like she's going to have like her own defending and she's like, she's her own person. She can handle it. And then Lisa
Right,
like is going to
probably.
like after be like, she didn't have my back. I had her back the entire time. I saved her when she was saying the most like vile things and took her out, but she didn't stand
Yeah.
up for me. I feel like that's going to happen. But
Yeah, I think you're right.
but I'm also glad Sutton was like, okay, let's just get straight to it. Did you leak it to the press? Because I
Hmm.
was just like, oh, this is gonna take a while, and I was like, oh,
But Erica's little the way she replied, I don't know how to do that. I was like, you could just say no.
you literally have a publicist. That's what they do. They send stuff out. Like that's the. I
Right.
don't understand how
I
you
feel
don't know
like
that.
that was her clever way of being like,
I didn't
I
do it.
didn't do it,
Yeah,
but I know somebody who knows how to do it that did it. Like, you know
yeah.
what I mean?
And the fact that it was her publicist that leaked it, I'm just like,
Yeah.
if he didn't get the okay to do it, then his entire job and future jobs
Is
would be affected.
is that why she was like, um, send over everything you have to me to like prove it? Because it's like, oh, if my person did that, I had no aware. I was not aware of this.
Yeah.
So if you can prove it, I'll fire them. Or is it like, before I admit to it, I want to see if you guys
Proof.
can, you know what I mean? If you
Yeah.
can prove it, who it was, if you can prove it. But
Yeah. If someone
I
said
don't know.
that and said like, "Oh, that was my publicist," I'd be like, "Oh my god, really?" Like I would show some sort of shock rather than, "Oh, come to me with
Right.
receipts."
And not only that, it wasn't even like, no, no one on my team would do that. And if they did, you need to prove it to me.
Yeah.
It was, her defense was, but was the story published?
Yeah.
Was the story published?
Where did you
It's like,
see
so
it?
no, if you're giving me that you know that the story was leaked, but it hasn't been published. So what are you complaining about?
That's not okay though. That's absolutely messed up. And I agree
Right.
with everyone's sentiment that it is an argument between the sisters. Why like no one else got involved.
Why do you, nobody else, why do you care? You don't really care. Oh my
No.
God, shut up. You don't care. You can't care. There's no way.
But I'm not even joking. I feel like that's what Lisa Rinna does. She tries to take down people of influence and I don't know, like does she want to be the only person that is like has influence or like the most influence among the group? I
Right.
don't get it.
She wants to be her. She wants to be that girl
Yeah, and I'm not
on
and
the
I
show.
feel like she's going to get called out a lot. And I also didn't appreciate the way that she like went after Garcelle when Garcelle was like, "Why are you getting involved in this? Like why
Yeah,
are
why are
you
you carrying on with this?
And why do you keep bringing it up when you say you don't want to bring it up, but then every time
Right.
the cameras are rolling, you bring it up?"
Right.
So I feel like Garcelle and Lisa Rinna are gonna go at it at the reunion.
100%.
Kathy's of course gonna go for Lisa Rinna. I also feel like Sutton is going because Lisa Rinna just was taking it out on her every chance and
But
then
she is
blaming it.
gonna go in on her because Garcelle's gonna go hard.
Yeah. And
Rinna's gonna go hard.
yeah, I personally like, of course, like I feel terrible that her mother passed away or whatnot, but I'm just like, do you realize like that they brought that out at the end, like Erika said that, so that I feel like it was, and I completely understand. Of course, you need to have sympathy for anybody who goes through a hard time because everyone deals with loss differently. But I'm like, were you doing that as a strategic play? Like, did Lisa text you, be like, hey, please mention this in the car so people are a bit nicer to me?
Right.
Or something. It seemed very calculated the way that was brought about. Because I'm like, you didn't talk about that all the other times that you brought up Kathy. You're just now talking about it when they're accusing you guys about leaking stuff.
Right.
So I'm like, that seems very calculated. So I feel like that's
Yeah.
going to come up too.
Yeah.
And yeah. And also, like, I feel so bad for any time, like any what are the caterers or whatnot. I'm like, how do they actually feel when these women are going at each other? Because these are all
I
like,
know. I always wonder what the rest of the environment is like. Like, are people just kind of like, oh, ignoring them, like that's what they do, or are people like kind of like watching, like, oh my god, they're fighting again? Like, especially when they're in public. Like, I realized production does a really good job of not really getting other people's faces
reactions. Yeah.
and reactions and
Yeah.
like. But I wonder, are people watching this or are they just
I would
doing their
be.
thing? Like,
If they, okay, if I was having
I
brunch,
would be too.
like with you at a public place, and these people, even if there were no cameras and people were going at it, like
Yeah.
yelling and like whatnot,
Yeah,
I
for
would,
sure.
like, automatically your head is gonna go there because you can't
Yeah.
converse normally and be like, oh, so how's your eggs? It's like that doesn't happen. You want like,
No, we'd be talking about what they're talking about. Like,
yeah.
oh,
No, we would be paying attention. Then right after everything was done, we'd be like, oh my god.
exactly.
Oh, that's
So I
it.
always, I don't know. I always wonder that. But I love that little butler guy that was was Patrick?
Patrick? Yeah,
He's
he was
so
so
cute. Oh
cute.
my gosh.
Yeah. Also, like, is that a, do you get paid like per job or is that like, do you know what I'm saying? Because that's a thing that
I
doesn't
feel
happen
like it
anymore.
depends. Like, if you are Kathy's butler, I'm sure you have a salary.
You're on a
Like,
payroll.
that's your job. You're on payroll. But then if like Kathy lends you to her friend, I don't know if that's just with that can't be just within your salary because like that's a whole new house you have to learn a whole new
Yeah.
this. So I'm sure maybe it's like, oh, I borrowed him from Kathy because he's on Kathy's payroll, so he's not working for her tonight. But I paid him like this, like a little side job
Yeah,
for him.
I totally get it. Okay.
You know?
I chuckled really hard when like everyone started having like was able to borrow diamonds and everything, and then at the end they had to go and return it, especially when Erika had to go return it, and I was just like, girl, she must have felt like some sort of way because,
Yeah.
and I was just like chuckling really hard, and also Diana's little comment of, I don't borrow, and I'm
I know,
just,
but I love her.
I know, yeah.
Oh, I love her Nuva. What is it called? Nuva Riche.
Yeah. I just thought it was
Love her Nuva Riche
hilarious.
vibe.
Yeah.
Or is it Nuva Rich? I love it. I love it. I love that it's new money and she's enjoying spending every dollar. Like, I love how fabulous she is. I want to be her friend.
I keep forgetting about Dorit also now. And I know that sounds mean, but I
You
keep
forget about what?
Dorit.
What about her?
No, I'm just forgetting that she exists until like they put her name on,
Oh,
and I was like, oh
yeah.
yeah, she's still on the show. Because I
Oh,
feel like
yeah.
all she does
Her
is
whole
just,
storyline was her robbery, which I mean, I get was scary.
yeah, and it's
Like,
not even about that. It's like she doesn't speak up. All she does is just side with people and then be like, oh, I understand. But then she
yeah.
has questions about everything. But then she's like, oh, I understand. And I'm like, but you're not being true because you have questions about things.
Right.
And even the fact that
Yeah.
she was just like, oh, Kyle, you shouldn't have brought this up. It's like, why shouldn't she? It's her right. This is her party. This is her sister. This is her situation that
Did
she's going to have
Kyle
to deal
bring
with.
it up?
Yeah, she did. She'd like brought it up to She said, "Oh,
No, she didn't bring it up. Because they were all sitting there talking about something else, and then Garcelle was like, "Hey, Rinna, I heard that you saw Kathy at Kyle's house."
oh yes, yes." But she told Garcelle, and then
No, she told Kyle she should have never brought it up.
yeah, and I'm just like, well, they should deal with it because she's gonna have to live with this after the cameras stop rolling.
Yeah, who cares? Like, it's like, why? If she's not mad, I don't understand why Lisa is being so mad, and I don't understand why Lisa said that she said disgusting things about everybody. However, Lisa is only trying to force Kyle not to deal with Kathy. Like, Lisa didn't get mad at Crystal when Crystal had Kathy at her party. She only wants Kyle to draw that line in the sand.
But like, why does she want? Like, why does she want to ruin? Like,
right? Why are you so? And she said she's fine. Why don't you go ahead and tell the other ladies what Kathy said, and then maybe some of them will take your side. But why are you trying to force Kyle to have your opinion?
And I also don't trust that she didn't tell Erika. I feel like she definitely told Erika.
Yeah, actually, I never thought about that. Maybe.
Yeah. Even if it wasn't like right after, I feel like she did, because if you're texting someone when it's happening, that person's gonna ask you after. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna have to vent. So I'm like, so I feel like at the reunion, especially after Lisa's like stuck up for Erika so much this season, I feel like Erika's not gonna have Lisa's back, and they're gonna probably have a bit of a falling out. That's just my prediction, though. That's what I think will happen, and I'm honestly excited for that, and their looks. But I feel like
not excited.
Yeah. But I'm just excited to see Kathy actually speak up and say her piece.
I definitely am too, because at this point Lisa is giving like taunting. Like, you're taunting, you're poking the bear.
Yeah.
And like, she's just pushing it way too much. Like, it's getting annoying.
It's getting very annoying, yeah.
It's just getting annoying. It's getting tired. We're still talking about this. It's getting, are you going to tell us?
Like, I want to know what her end goal is. Like, what do you want to happen? Do you want
Kathy to go to therapy? That's what you want, to say that I made Kathy go to therapy? Or do you, like, or is your end goal to make Kathy so uncomfortable she stops coming around?
And then also become like a social pariah because she is a socialite, like that no one invites her anywhere.
Yeah.
Like, what is your end goal? And then after Kyle and her have a falling out, you want all the cousins and like nephews and everybody like what? To not talk to each other. And then what? Like, are you going to be that sister to Kyle?
Right.
Like,
I don't know.
Are
it's
you?
All very flexible,
Yeah.
And it's just,
I don't understand what the end goal is.
Because the end goal was not an apology. Because she gave that to you.
Yeah.
And you said cool. But you're still going hard. So like.
And it's not like she said vile and mean things about Lisa.
Yeah, apparently not.
So, personally, I wouldn't care.
She said everybody. So I don't know. Maybe she did. I don't know.
But
we don't know because Lisa's not telling us anything.
But I feel like she's using that as leverage.
I feel like she doesn't want to say what she said, and she may never, just to keep building the suspense so that blogs and all these people can fill in or just people themselves can fill in the blanks, and
she can come back next season. That's basically it. She gets renewed.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's just like, because you're not really saying anything. So, I don't know. I hope Andy's not impressed with this.
Yeah.
We're not impressed by this.
I saw the trailer for the reunion and it seems exciting. It seems like apparently they ended filming at like 9 p.m. And I know they start really early. So I don't know like how much or how many breaks they had to take because people are breaking down or whatnot. But I also just want to know after the reunion's done who's going to be actually coming back. But I'm proud that Kathy's actually showing up for the reunion.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And not doing a virtual thing like Diana's doing. Do you know what I'm saying? Because people can take...
Diana's not coming at all?
No, she's doing like a virtual thing. She said apparently that she had the C, like the thing. So, but then she posts... Yeah.
The COVID?
Yeah. I'm just not saying it because I have to beep it out.
Oh.
It's all good. And then what's it
I'm
called?
sorry.
Yeah, it's all
I
good.
thought you were saying that that's what she was calling it, and I was
No,
like, why is she
she
calling it
felt, yeah,
that?
she was unwell or whatever. And then
That's
someone, whether it was her fiance or her, posted that they were at an aquarium with their daughter. So I'm like, hide your stuff better, people. Hide your
she's
stuff.
like, she just couldn't be bothered. She's like, I have other things I'd rather do today,
Yeah,
and a part of me loves her for that. Like,
yeah.
I mean,
But it's
yeah,
also you signed up for it. You signed a contract. And the thing is, like,
yeah,
might as well just show up and have a good time in New York. Be done.
that's true. There's an aquarium there, I'm sure.
Yeah. And catch a show. I'm pretty sure there's more shopping that she can do. And that's it. I know she doesn't visit stores, but still.
I was gonna say she doesn't go to stores, so that
Yeah.
doesn't really.
They can come to
No,
her.
I think that's funny, and I think that the fact that she wasn't at the reunion, I think she's gonna come back next season. I think this is like an easy gig for her. I
Completely.
think
She
just
doesn't have to do
enjoys.
anything.
I think she enjoys showing people how fabulous she is, and like,
But there was also
it's
the whole controversy with her and like Instagram and coming after some people. So I feel like that's
yeah,
also
I
going to be
saw
brought to
that.
light. So I don't know if she would come back because of that.
That's true.
Yeah. But then the
Yeah,
one
and
thing,
honestly, a lot of times too, when I was watching this season, I did get the vibe that she's kind of like, this isn't as cool as I thought it was gonna be. Like, this is beneath me.
but
You
the,
know?
yeah, but the one thing that I wish shows did is if someone did something that wasn't socially acceptable or whatnot and they apologize, I wish that they played that out instead of just canceling them and being like, no, you're not coming back next season.
Right.
I wish they like brought them back and actually had conversations about it. Because I feel like that would be way
Yeah.
more helpful than rather than being like, no, you don't have to keep them on the entire season, even if it's like a few episodes. Okay?
Yeah.
And then had those conversations and then where everybody talked about it and actually brought it to light and we're having genuine conversations rather than, oh
Yeah.
yeah, blah blah blah. No, actual conversations and then moved along. Because you canceling somebody and not renewing them doesn't really benefit anybody. And the people that
Right.
are watching, for the people that need to be like maybe educated a little bit or whatever,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
don't get anything from it. So I wish
That's
they
true.
brought them back for a few episodes. You can be a friend of.
Love that.
And
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I'm excited for the reunion and
I'm so excited.
then after we watch it, we'll chat about it.